Hi there. So this is our entomology debate. We're going to be reading our scripts off of our phones via from our Google Drives. So to be specific, our debate topic is 2:11, and I'm going to have debater A start.
Okay, so like I said, I'm debater A. I'm Paula Guevara, and I will be talking about the Culex quinquefasciatus mosquito, also known as Culex fatigans.
Okay, and I'm debater B. My name's Kenna Westbury. It's pronounced Alpha Tobias diaperneus, but its common name is the lesser worm.
Okay, so our debate topic is which is more dangerous to humans. So I will be starting off. And the life history of Culex fatigans it is a period domestic mosquito that feeds on avian, mammalian, and human hosts. It became adapted to the environs of historical sailing ships out for long voyages where polluted water and livestock were common. It is likely that this mosquito was spread worldwide between the 17th and 19th centuries by commercial sailing vessels involved in different kinds of trades, such as the Atlantic slave trade. It has been spread throughout the tropical and warm temperature regions through man from its native land, West Africa. Its biology and behavior. It is a medium-sized mosquito, predominantly golden brown, with solid colored legs and a white banded abdomen. It has 3 metacentric chromosomes and is one of 3 mosquito species with a completely sequenced genome. They feed in the middle of the night, and without blood, they will not survive past 5 days. Since they require a blood meal in order to reproduce and do not undergo a reproductive diapause, the species is active and reproduces year-round. In India, they may complete 2 to 3 gonotrophic cycles in a lifetime during the hotter season and 4 to 8 cycles in the cooler season. A single female can lay up to 5 rafts of eggs in a lifetime. So the impacts to human society. This mosquito is a main factor of lymphatic filariasis, which affects 120 million people and causes almost $1.3 billion a year in loss of productivity. This mosquito causes great health, social, and economic harm to an estimated 4 million people throughout Southeast Asia, Africa, South America, and the Caribbean, which are tourist-based. The mosquito can also translate pathogens to livestock, including avian pox, avian malaria, Rift Valley fever, West Nile encephalitis, and canine diarrhea, known as dog heartworm. In the U.S., the species ranges from Virginia across the southern plains to southern California, and from as far north as southern Iowa, south to Texas and Florida.
So, lesser worms are more harmful to humans. They have a substantial amount of research in the scientific entomological literature. Lesser mealworms are several poultry pathogens and parasites. They cause damage to poultry housing and is a health risk to humans in close contact with larvae and adults in particular. This species has membership in the tenebroid tribe, this is kind of hard to pronounce, Alphytobini. Okay, there we go. And it has 4 known genera worldwide. They have been identified since 1797. Specifically, there are 2 known genera found in the United States, and 2 species are in the genus Alpha Tobias. So, primary locations. Researchers believe that Alpha Tobias diaperneus originated in Africa. This insect is considered exotic in the United States because it originated in Africa, traveled to Europe, and spread into the States. Predominantly lesser worms are located throughout Florida, North Carolina, West Virginia, Indiana, Michigan, New York, Ohio, and Wisconsin. Okay, so for biology and characteristics, in particular, adults are broadly oval and usually are dark brownish blackish color and are shiny. Their length ranges from 5.8 to 6.3 millimeters. Their antennae have densely clothed short yellow hairs, and their eyes are margined or very spread apart. Their ventral surfaces, so located like on their belly, are usually red-brown. Lesser worms are usually found in infesting flour, meal, and other grain products, especially in poorly maintained grain processing plants. Because mealworms are from the sub-Saharan Africa and are considered exotic, they thrive in warm and humid conditions. It is also an important inhabitant of poultry or brooder homes. Okay, sorry, where it lives in poultry droppings and litter. Both adults and larvae are abundant in manure from pineries and poultry farms. Reproduction and development. When they mate, females can lay up to 2,000 eggs. They lay their eggs in cracks and tight areas within various parts of the poultry houses. Adults live 3 to 12 months, and larvae can hatch in 4 to 7 days, but also can develop fully in about 40 to 100 days. Okay. Damage and health risks. Lesser worms are not risky to grains, however, they are a risk to poultry businesses and are vectors of disease that can create structural damages to poultry homes. Common diseases that are associated with mealworms are Merrick's disease and Gumboro disease, turkey coronavirus, and the list goes on. These diseases are specifically harmful to poultry. Human risk. Lesser worms are vectors of disease that affects humans as well. Some common diseases include Salmonella, E. coli, Aspergillus, infectious bronchitis, etc. Also, these lesser mealworms are vectors of allergies such as symptoms of asthma, headaches, dermatitis, allergic angioedema, rhinitis, reddening, and formation of the papules.
Okay. So, unlike the lesser worm, the female Culex fatigans mosquito reproduce without the need to mate. Because of this, they are considered to be more dangerous due to the fact that they can reproduce all year round as long as the female can find blood to feed on. Although the amount of eggs that are laid at a time depend on the climate they are laid in, they can lay up to 5 rafts in their lifetime. On average, one raft can have around 155 eggs, so 5 rafts can equal up to 775 eggs in a female's lifetime. This can result in an increase in the amount of mosquitoes and therefore increase the chances of diseases spread by it.
Even though the female Culex can reproduce without a male counterpart, the lesser mealworm is more harmful and dangerous to humans. The reason being is because lesser mealworm females lay up to 2,000 eggs at once when they mate. Also, the larvae hatches in 4 to 7 days and can fully develop in 40 to 100 days. Whereas the Culex female only lays up to 775 eggs in one's lifetime. Also, the lesser worm can be harmful in the larval stages as well as their adult stages, where it seems that the Culex are the most harmful during adulthood. Due to the number of eggs laid by the lesser mealworm and the rate at which the larvae become fully developed, this is a prominent reason why lesser mealworms are more harmful.
Okay, so the Culex mosquito definitely has had and continues to have a bigger impact in human society. Since the 17th and 19th centuries, they have caused great harm due to the spreading through overseas voyages. Although not many people travel through water anymore, these mosquitoes can travel also through commercial air, which many people do today. Because they can travel through both water and commercial air, they are highly likely to be transported to many other parts of the world and are highly adaptable to different environments, which means they can prosper pretty much anywhere. In turn, causing more health harm to humans and livestock, such as avian pox, avian malaria, Rift Valley fever, and West Nile encephalitis, as mentioned before. Because they cause health harm, they in turn also cause economic harm, causing $1.3 billion a year in loss of productivity. Also, because they target livestock, they can be a threat to endangered and native species.
Lesser mealworms have also been identified for a period of time now, specifically in 1797, as previously mentioned above. Even though they are considered exotic to the United States, they originated in Africa, traveled to Europe, and have adapted in the United States. The most common areas where they adapt are in the warmer and more humid conditions, and the abundance of these lesser mealworms are very prominent in the following states: Florida and North Carolina, West Virginia, Virginia, Indiana, Michigan, New York, Ohio, and Wisconsin, previously mentioned above. The lesser mealworms are also more harmful because it affects both the production of food for humans, poultry in particular, and they are also vectors of diseases that affects humans and poultry. Lesser mealworms will attack and eventually obstruct the intestines of poultry, which is a huge economic and nutritional loss for humans, considering chicken is one of the most common forms of protein in the United States. And because the population in the United States is so vast, people rely on poultry houses and farms to produce massive amounts of chicken in particular, even daily, to feed. Lesser mealworms are also vectors of disease, and these diseases include the Salmonella, E. coli, Asparagus, I think that's how you pronounce that, infectious bronchitis, etc. Not only does the lesser mealworms affect these diseases, but they're also quite harmful to humans with allergies. And then these common allergies, again reiterated and mentioned above, include symptoms of asthma, headaches, dermatitis, allergic angioedema, rhinitis, and then reddening and formation of the papules.
Okay, so in conclusion, I do have to agree with debater number 2 that the lesserworm can be as harmful as the Culex mosquito. However, it does not mean that they're far more dangerous than them. The Culex mosquito does affect both livestock and humans as well, which in turn creates an economic downfall. I believe these two species can be equally as dangerous to both humans and livestock.
Even though debater 1 has pointed out the reproduction rates of the Culex, lesser mealworms lay more eggs in one instance than the Culex does in its entire lifetime. Also, even though the Culex is adaptable, so is the lesser mealworm. Also, even though the Culex is harmful economically, so is the lesser mealworm, and the lesser mealworm affects the structure of poultry houses and farms, poultry in particular, and are vectors of disease for both poultry and humans. That's our debate.
Thank you.